Well, it's been a crazy week in ASU sports, so as usual, Devils in Detail is here to break it down. I'm Alyanna Harina, he's Killian McClatchey. Let's get to it.
Today we'll be talking about ASU Hockey as they went to Omaha for the weekend. Volleyball still searching for their first conference win and where they might find it. And the final weekend in soccer is in the season here as the Sun Devils look to close out the season on a high note.
The Arizona State football team is shocking the nation, one Pac-12 win at a time. I'm here with football reporter Zach Piquel to break down what's going on with the Sun Devils. How's it going, Zach?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, Alyanna.
So are the Sun Devils.
Yes, they are.
So, at the beginning of the season, the outlook on the defense was anything but positive. What's going on now?
Well, honestly, Alyanna, after that bye week, Phil Bennett and Todd Graham, whatever they said to this unit, it's working. This team has come out with a new approach, a new intensity, and a new fire, and it's paying dividends. We saw 4 turnovers in the Utah win this past weekend, interceptions by Jamarcus Rhodes. We saw Chase Lucas get his first career interception. Christian Sam jumped a route as a linebacker, and then we saw J.J. Wilson take a interception all the way to the house, even slowed down a little bit to make some extra contact on the Utah quarterback. Brings back some resemblance to the 2000s Miami teams, but honestly, it's refreshing to see a team that looks like they're there to play on both sides of the ball.
So staying on the defense topic, is there anybody specifically that has stood out to you on that ASU defense?
Yeah, I'm going to go with J.J. Wilson on this one. Was playing tight end at the start of the season, and then when Karan Crump went down, Graham went to his tight end and said, "Can you play devil backer?" and made the switch. And now we see what can happen when you make that switch. Wilson is a very athletic player, 6'2", about 245. He's got the physical tools, and now we see as he's able to break it down on the field, he's really a talented player on defense, and he's been an X factor for the Devils this past weekend, and I think we'll see it going forward.
So this upcoming weekend, they're facing USC, by far not an easy team. What are you looking for from the Sun Devils?
Again, they have to get after Sam Darnold. Darnold was a little banged up against Notre Dame, and Clay Helton said it's been an issue since their loss to Washington State a few weeks ago. The Devils need to apply pressure, force him out of the pocket, make throws on the run. I mean, with a bad ankle, it's really almost a ticking time bomb before it can get worse. If they can get some hits on him, make him uncomfortable, I think the Devils come away with another win and improve that win streak to 3.
Well, we'll just have to see if they can put that pressure on that quarterback. For more from Zach and the rest of the Sun Devil football coverage team, be sure to visit us at devilsindetail.com. ASU Soccer is hosting their final 2 home games this weekend. We go to Killian and Nick for more.
I have Nick Hedges with me, who's a beat reporter for the ASU Soccer team. Nick, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, you were just talking to me. You said you haven't seen a goal in a game that you covered so far.
I've covered plenty of games. I haven't seen a goal yet this year, so hopefully that'll change this weekend.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Hopefully we can get that changed up for you. But so this past weekend, I should say, the team faced off with Colorado. They lost 3-0, and then they had a draw with Utah. What did you like from the team? What did you see from them?
Well, it was really kind of a microcosm of their entire season. They played pretty well against Utah. They had a draw 2-2. Granted, they were off PKs, both of the goals, but at least they're scoring, But the Colorado game, they just showed up flat. From the very start, they just looked the worst team. And that really has been the whole season for them. They've looked really good at times. They've looked really bad at times. So I think, especially looking into the next couple of games, it'll really come down to which team shows up. But yeah, that's what I saw from them last weekend. We just saw inconsistency across the board.
Certainly, it's tough to go up to places like Colorado and Utah at such a high elevation, especially when you're running around for 90-plus minutes. So talked about this next weekend. You'll be there. Hopefully we can get you a goal there for that team. So they've got the Washington schools coming into town. What can we expect to see from that, and do you think they can pick up a win this weekend?
Well, hopefully some goals, but I think more importantly, just overall some more consistent play. Hopefully their A team will show up. Granted, we're not sure. That B team could show up, and they could get run over both games. We'll have to see. Obviously, Washington and Washington State are 2 solid teams, so ASU will have to show up to both and play really well to win games. They might pull out a win against one or the other. They're both very similar teams, so I'd say they have about the same chance in both. But at the end of the day, chances are they'll lose both. That's probably my prediction, but I would not be surprised to see them draw or win one of those 2.
Certainly, and that's what it takes. The season's coming down to the end. Thanks, Nick. We'll have to see how the soccer team does this next weekend.
Well, from the pitch to the ice, I'm here with hockey reporter Josh Schaefer to talk just a little bit about ASU's hockey team. How's it going, Josh?
It's going great.
All right, so let's just get straight into this. ASU, they're kind of on a cold streak right now, no pun intended, but they have this habit or a pattern of losing that first game and then bouncing back in the rest of the series. What have you seen from the team in regards to their resilience?
It's something that we saw a lot last year as well. Early in the season, their first full year as a Division I hockey program, they struggled against Notre Dame in the first game. They got clobbered in the first game in every category, offense, defense, on special teams, and they come back in the second game and they lose on a late third period goal. Mm-hmm. Later on in the season, we see them lose the first game to Air Force, then bounce back and get a win over a top 25 team. And then later in the season, we see them lose to Ohio State. Next game, they come back, force an overtime tie, and then in a shootout, a little bit of a consolation prize for Arizona State. They win in a shootout. And it seems like we're already getting into this pattern again this year. You know, they lose their first game to Air Force, fall behind early, and are forced to come back. Came up with a little bit too few goals too late in the game, couldn't complete the comeback. The next game, they were a lot better out of the gate, couldn't get the win, but they performed a lot better, and I think it was something that the coaching staff really looked highly upon, as it looks like this pattern is going to improve. Against Nebraska-Omaha, they got clobbered in the first game once again, and came back and did force a tie in overtime, so unfortunately for them, they're not able to get a win on the score sheet, but a little bit of a consolation prize. Like I said, they get the win in a shootout. So now coming into this week's game against Colgate, I think it's a pattern that's going to continue this weekend and throughout the rest of the season. All
right, so I know you mentioned just a little bit about Colgate. They're in New York this weekend. Can you elaborate on just a little bit more on what you're expecting to see from the team?
Yeah, this game really comes down to who executes on special teams and who doesn't. Colgate is 2 for 28 on the power play this year, which comes out to about 7%, which is clearly not very good. Arizona State, likewise, has been terrible on the power play this season. Both teams have struggled a bit on the penalty kill, but have also looked very good at times. ASU gave up 3 goals to Nebraska-Omaha in 3 penalty kill attempts this past weekend, so of course that's something that the team needs to improve on, and Coach Powers says it was more the way that the team entered the zone rather than how the Devils' penalty kill was set up. ASU has struggled with the power play all season long. It's something they want to improve on. It's something that Colgate wants to improve on. So really for ASU and for Colgate, it just comes down to limiting the amount of penalties that you take. You don't want to give a struggling team chances to improve on their power play and get a win.
So it sounds like it's all coming down to discipline. Well, thank you for joining me. Great stuff as always.
Thank you.
Now we throw it over to Killian for what's going on with the volleyball team.
I have ASU Volleyball beat reporter Bo Wilkinson here with me, and we'll just get right into it with this team. They're still winless since conference play started. It's tough to see when the team has had such a long, rough patch, but have you seen any improvement from them?
Yeah, this team is definitely a lot better than they were at the start of the season. Coach Tomasevich said it herself that if you put this team through the same non-conference schedule, that they wouldn't lose a set. So overall, this record doesn't really show, but they have gotten a lot better.
Certainly. So what will it take for this team to pick up their first win in conference play?
I think it starts with the passing. When the passing is on point, it makes life a lot easier for the hitters. And that just makes the offense run a lot more efficiently. Another big part of their game that they need to improve on is the serve and receive. If both those two things come together, I think the Sun Devils could pick up a win.
Certainly. So now looking at the remainder of the schedule, they play 5 ranked opponents, including number 2 Stanford this weekend. Where do you see the Sun Devils getting that first win?
I think possibly it could come this weekend on Sunday against Cal. But they also have a stretch at the end of the year. They finished with 4 straight road matches against Utah, Washington State, U of A, and Colorado. And I could see them stealing 1 or 2 there. Washington State's not a great team, and neither is the University of Arizona, and anything can happen in a rivalry game.
Certainly. Well, thank you, Bo, and you can follow all of his coverage on devilsindetail.com.
Well, big homecoming week for ASU.
That's true. USC in town. Driver's seat in the Pac-12 South. I'm looking to try and book my ticket to San Fran to go see that Pac-12 title game.
Well, it'd be well worth it.
It certainly would be. So, well, it was on Tan Tuesday here, as you saw. That's all that we have for you this week. We appreciate you sticking around. And don't forget, you can follow the work from all of our reporters and coverage teams on devilsindetail.com and follow Devils in Detail on Twitter at devils_detail. For Alyanna, Harina, my name is Killian McClatchey, and we'll see you all next time.